AITA for planning to shave my daughter's hair? The title sounds really iffy, so to preface, my husband, M32, is okay with it. I, F33, am Hindu, and it is a custom in my religion for babies to go through a rite of passage by shaving their head when they're typically 1 to 3 years old. It's extremely common in India since both Hindu and Muslim communities follow this practice, with different traditions albeit. My husband is from the US, we've been married 4 years. We're in India and visiting my family. 2 days ago, we were on FaceTime with his parents and mentioned while we're here we will have a ceremony, Mundan for our daughter, 3F, while we're here. They were excited and Emil even asked me to send photos. Everything was okay until my husband joked, "You'll finally know what Maya looks like as a baby." Maya was born with a full head of hair. Emil was confused, but when she learned about the shaving, she was furious. This was not even for religion since she knows my daughter is being raised Hindu, husband's family are devout Christians, my husband left the religion years ago. She has never expressed anger towards this in particular, so it was not the reason for her outburst. She went on a tirade how I was trying to unblack my daughter. My husband's black and how I don't like my daughter's hair. She said I don't love her natural hair and have consistently tried to make it like mine, which is frankly not true. She also mentioned I'll start bleaching her skin soon since it's common with my people. This is completely baseless. Not only are we darker than her entire family, but also this was completely out of the blue. I've done my best in my search for my daughter's hair care. I've visited many black-owned salons with my SIs and found the perfect one for my daughter. My husband researched about hair care products for babies and Maya's hair is very healthy and I've heard no complaints from anyone. I even have a hair oiling tradition with her. My mother and grandmother followed this and it was a great bonding time for us. I wanted to share this with my daughter too. I can't even say anything for the skin bleaching stuff. The only conversation Emil and I had before about Maya's hair was when she mentioned she wanted to get cornrows done and asked if Maya would go to get hers done too. She was 2 at the time, so I said no. I completely blew up at her after this. My husband was mad at his mom, but said we should just have the ceremony on the down low, with my immediate family and not post anything about the ceremony since her hair would grow when we go back, but I want her to have a big ceremony and she's quite excited about it too. I'm also pretty hurt about Emil's outburst as I've had a good relationship with her. Fil has been quiet since this happened and SIs are 19 so they can't say much. My family was in the next room while this happened and they heard Emil, she was that loud, and are mad at my husband. This was supposed to be a fun trip back home and it just spiraled into this. Update, the ceremony was held yesterday and I'm so glad I went through with it. Maya had the most amazing time with her cousins and we did the best to ensure that we get a priest who also trained a bit in shaving hair so she was comfortable and didn't cry. The only time she cried was when everyone left LOL. I'm so glad that I didn't cancel, especially after reading that one comment saying that I'm racist for doing this ceremony for my daughter, especially since she's black too. Still don't understand the thought process behind that. We had a great day with our family and Maya was so glad to see her uncles, my brother and cousin, who also flew out from the US for the ceremony. But it seems like our day was too good and Emil called us screaming seeing the pictures my relatives posted on Instagram. She wasted no time this time around and went for her actual reason for being so against all this. As many of you suspected, she was still resentful that my husband married a Hindu. She somehow expected me to raise my daughter Christian, which totally blindsided me. Fil was also pretty much on her side. This time around, my parents also came and spoke to her because they did not like how she was talking to me and my husband was being a complete wuss, leaving that for later RN. We kind of diffused the situation for now and I'm so glad my parents are still there for me. Oh, and the most surprising part? SIs told me Emil had herself shaved her daughter's hair when they were toddlers since no stylist would work with kids that young in their area. Husband kind of remembered it too after they mentioned it. So she pretty much had no problem with the hair shaving. I guess the resentment was just building up with Diwali, Holi, I mean seriously? Who gets mad at seeing their grandkid covered in colors? The most horrible thing was the skin bleaching comment. As someone who has been in the other side of it, it felt horribly awful that someone would outright say that I would have any role in it. The thing I'm angry most about is the audacity of her to call me up and scream about all this, like I would have responded well, maybe not but better than this, to a nice conversation. I don't know if I want this woman around my kid. But that's a problem for later. Everything was very Indian soap opera-ish for me so well it's been a long day.